see him on Joy Bar Comedy and wants to go absolutely crazy, please welcome Zoltan Kaszas.
What is up, everybody? I stood up. Thank you. That was so respectful. It felt like an ex-president right there. That gentleman stood up and clapped for me. Oh, man. I'm kind of nervous now. Like, I don't want to let that guy down now. Good Lord. Thank you, everybody. One more time for Jeremiah and Bob. Make it loud for them. So nice to be here. This is my first time here in Eugene. I've missed Eugene, Oregon on all my trips, and I'm glad it worked out. I've done Albany, Oregon. I've done that. That is how the show went. I've done that one. I was at a bowling alley, and I stayed at the Phoenix Inn next to the adult shop right off the freeway. Oh, exactly, yeah. That hotel came with the gig. In case you're wondering, like, why'd you pick that one? That's the one we wanted to pick, yeah. And then they gave us free drinks and said, drive on back. Don't worry, it's not like the state troopers station is right next to that hotel. But yeah, that was the first time I was like, that had to be 15 years ago. That was so long ago. That was back when you could have hired me for a bowl of soup. I was just trying to be a comedian, and somehow I got this booking at a bowling alley in Albany, Oregon. I think I paid $400, and I'm like, yeah. And I got a buddy of mine. I was like, come with me. He's like, I'm coming. And he opened for me. I think they paid me $400, and that was for me and him. That was the entire show and one room that we shared at the Phoenix Inn. And we drove in a Honda Civic from San Diego, California, all the way up to Albany, Oregon. That was, once you pass, like, San Francisco, it starts getting all it was like moments where a buddy of mine is asleep, and then you're tired, and then you just see a semi-truck kind of weave, and you're like, oh my God, and then I'd weave, and then he wakes up, like, oh, what happened? I'm like, nothing, man. I didn't want to tell him, you almost died, I didn't want to tell him that. And then I had those moments on that side. But yeah, that show didn't go well. I remember that. It was just a bar in a bowling alley. No stage. It was just a corner. And they had one amp and a microphone. And the bartender was in charge. Have you been to this show? You're from you know this bowling alley. So you know I'm not making any of this up. So we show up, it's just a mic with a mic stand and one amp. And the bartender goes, you start the show there. And then my buddy had to start the show. And before we showed up, he's like, hey man, I brought a knife. And I was like, what'd you bring a knife for? He's like, just in case things get out of hand, I brought a knife. And I'm like, okay, that's good. That's probably a good idea. I was a young guy. I was like maybe 21. I don't know anything. And I was like, yeah, a knife's probably a good idea. And this guy was a 30-year-old alcoholic. So I'm like, I'm in good hands, you know? And I remember he did well, and then it was my set. I was headlining the bowling alley, and I had to go up there, and I immediately offended people because I said, I was like, well, we drove up, and it was a bunch of farmland. Your cows are looking a little thin, and that's all I said. I was like, kind of some methy-looking cows out there. You notice how that got a laugh? That's kind of a funny thing to say. Who calls cows methy, right? Like, I was like, that's a fun little thing to throw out there. And I just remember a guy in overalls going, your cows in California are full of steroids. Like, he was angry. And then the crowd started to turn on me. And by turn on me, they were never on my side. I just mean like it was more not on my side. And then I didn't know what to do, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, my buddy Joe has a knife in the back. In case any of you country bumpkins decide to get upset. And then my buddy Joe was like, what are you saying that I did? now everyone's eyeballing him, and then I honestly don't remember the rest of the set, but they didn't kill us. So it must have gone all right. Do they still do comedy at that bowling alley? All right. I'm actually happy to hear that. I am happy to hear that. Maybe my show was the last one. They're like, we don't need to do this. The good people of Albany, they don't need this. And then I got a speeding ticket on the way back. And that cost more than $400. So immediately lost any kind of money. I don't even know what the profits would have been with gas and food and driving up from San Diego, but whatever those profits were, they were dashed. And I remember my buddy tried to warn me. He's like, hey man, I've been through Oregon, and their speed limit is 65, and they drive it. And I was like, all right. And then I'm on the freeway, and everyone drives it. You guys do follow the speed limit. But we had just had a bad show at a bowling alley. I just wanted to get home. We had like a 17-hour drive or whatever to get back home, and I'm like, I stomped that. And as soon as I got it up to 80, it was like a windy little thing, and then there was a cop, and we made eye contact. And I was like, no! And he pulled me over. I didn't even have an argument. He came by, you guys had the troopers with the hat, with the belts on the back. That's impressive to hold a hat on. And you're like, no, I just need a belt over my head fat right back there. Just strap it onto my head gut, and that'll keep it in. And he came by and he goes, do you have any idea why I pulled you over? I'm like, I was going fast. And he's like, why were you going so fast? I'm like, I just bombed at a bowling alley. I was just trying to get the hell out of the state. That's all I was trying to do. But I'm glad we get another swing at it. This is already... I like Eugene. Eugene's way better than... No offense. I mean no knock on anyone who lives there. It's nice down here. I like it. Because, like, the further south you go, is this like the last city in Oregon before it just becomes Medford? Like, is that right? Because I've also worked Medford a lot, and you know, Medford's the only town that I've told them, I'm like, hey, your town it's kind of a butt town here, right? And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, usually when you travel, like even in Albany, I was like, hey, you guys kind of have a little town here, don't you? And they're like, yeah. Like, they understood who they were, you know, they understood where we were, they understood what was going on. But in Medford, it was like, what? How dare you? We vacation in Medford, how dare you? And they're like, no, you're talking about Grants Pass. Grants Pass is a bunch of hillbillies, not us here in Medford. And I had to let them know, I'm like, no, both of you. Both of you. You don't get to make that distinction. Both of you. Both of you. But yeah, I like it. We drove down from Portland today. That was a fun little drive. It's like you guys are the only ones that still have like hitchhikers. That's awesome. This is like the only place in the country where you drive on the interstate and there's just a guy, just like a hermit with a giant backpack, just walking down the interstate, and you're like, yeah, we're not near anything. Like, you're far between exits. You're like, where's the plan? I'm not going to pull over and ask, but that's there. And you're like, wow, this is like out of a Jack Kerouac novel or something. It looks less sexy when you see it in person. In the novels, it looks so beautiful and whimsical, and you're like, I'm riding the rails, and you're like, that guy's walking in the rain. That looks less adventurous. But... One more time for Jeremiah, everybody. That's awesome. I told him, I'm like, man, it's a hot crowd. And he's like, no, it's me. I was like, that's a good line. He had one in the chamber ready to roll, man. So good to be here. Thank you guys for coming out on a Sunday. We're here. Eugene. It's beautiful, man. It's my first time here. And I don't know what's going on, but I like it. All right? I got to learn a little bit about Oregon because we started in Portland, and I've been through Oregon plenty of times, and I pretty much learned that, like, this is the last town you can go to before it just becomes Medford for the rest of It's the last one. And I've done many shows in Medford, and oh boy. And I liked it. They were just the only town that I've ever performed in. When I told them, like, oh yeah, it's kind of sucks here, right? And they were like, what? Like, it's like, that's like a comedian thing. You travel around, and sometimes you're in big cities, sometimes small ones, sometimes little butt towns, and you're like, yeah, it's a little butt town out here, isn't it? And they're like, no, this is where we come to vacation. And I'm like, and they'd be like, you're thinking of Grants Pass. And I'm like, no, you both suck. It's both of you. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, yeah, they still do shows at Chadwick's Pub at the Rogue River Regency in Medford. Yeah, if you're ever there, get a room there. I've seen the police there a lot. It was always a fun gig, but yeah. I remember the one time I went, and I was like, I wanted to do something fun and educational. Like, I like to go to museums and stuff. And they had a tour in Grants Pass for to see the river, the Rogue River, on a speedboat, like on a jet boat kind of thing. And on the website, they're like, come take a tour of the historic Rogue River on a jet boat, and it made it look educational. I was like, hell yeah, we just showed up. It's not. It's just like a muscle car on the water, and there's a guy with a headset, and he's mainly talking about the engine. That's what he's... We got a double carburetor, 8-cylinder. And, like, sometimes he would talk about stuff, but he's like, oh, we're going to open up all the cylinders now. And he would point out educational stuff here and there, but it would be mostly about him doing donuts. That he would yell shake and bake, and then that meant he was going to do a donut, and we're all going to get wet. And so it was bizarre. He'd just be going like, hey, oh, do you see there's a bald eagle right there? Everyone get your cameras out. Just get a picture of that bald eagle. Everyone get that picture? Yeah? Shake and bake! And then we'd go a little bit down further and be like, oh, you see that bridge right there? That was built in like 1852. Lewis and Clark walked over it or something. I don't know. And get a good picture of that. That's a good bridge right there. All right, ready? Shake and bake! Do another one. And then I remember it got sad. There was a moment where a little girl started crying in the front of the boat, and he was like, what's wrong? What happened up there? And someone's like, she got stung by a bee. And you're like, oh no, don't worry, I got an ice pack. And he just passed up like a bottle. It was just a can of Bud Light that he had in a cooler. And like, he called it an ice pack. And I'm just watching this can of Bud Light go to the front of the boat, and they just held it on this little girl's arm for her bee sting. And it was all somber on the boat, and after a few minutes, he's like, how's she doing up there? And then there was a thumbs up from some guy in the front that she's doing better. He's like, all right, shake and bake! One more. And so yeah, I like all of Oregon, but there's all these, there's all these different parts. I'm still trying to get the vibe of Eugene. This is where Nike started, right? Nike? All right. Is that okay? I like it. I brought it up, and you guys were like, we don't talk about that. All right. You guys were like, I didn't know he was going to make it political. I don't even know if Nike's political, but you never know these days. I like Nikes. I wear those. Thank you. You guys are so jazzed for a Sunday. This is so interesting because we did this is the Late Show, by the way. I do, the Late Show started at 6:30 or 40. We did, and then we sold it out, and so that we added a 3. They're like, you want to add a 3 o'clock? And I was like, is that legal? And they're like, yeah, we can add a 3. People showed up, like people canceled their naps and canceled their afternoon naps, and they're like, let's go. You just pointed at 2 nappers. I love that. Like, I was gonna take a nap, but I knew that I wouldn't wake up in time. I love people that come to see me, because that's, like, I was in Portland on Friday, and we did 2 shows there, and the late one started at 9:45, and so it was very late. And I know my people, and I told them, I was like, next time I come back, this 9:45 show we'll do it like 4 p.m. And the entire it was a theater. Like I just yelled charge at January 6th. There's a guy dressed like a yak, and I'm like, where the hell did that guy come from? That's what my people, we'll charge for a 4 o'clock show. Like, let's do it early, man.
Hello, this is Zoltan Kaszas, and the year is 2025. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that mind-blowing? If you were just sent in from the past to the future, and this is how you're finding out the year, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. What the hell am I talking about? The point of this is I am on tour all year. It's what I do. A bunch of cities. I'm very excited to hit them all. If you'd like to see if I'm coming to a town near you, go to my website, zoltancomedy.com. There also might be a link in this video, maybe right over my eyes. I don't know what the editor is going to do with this. It could be in the description, what have you. But if it's not, zoltancomedy.com. Hit the shows tab, go down the list of shows, see if I'm coming to a town near you, and come see me so I can continue being a comedian and I don't have to go get a job where I'm a horrible, horrible employee. I've been told many times by numerous bosses. So please come out and see me and keep the dream alive.
But I'm glad we're here. We're celebrating the new year, 2024. Doesn't it feel like that's probably going to be the last year that we... I don't know why, but 2025 seems hard to imagine. 2024 might be the last one, you know? I don't know. It's going to be a big year. We're going to answer a lot of questions, I think. Like, can a country participate in a world war while also having a civil war at home? I think that's going to be a big question next year. And listen, I am not pushing for a civil war. I don't want that. That would mess with my tour schedule. I would not be into a civil war. I hope it doesn't happen. But also, if it does, is it really technically a civil war if only one side has weapons? Like, technically, you know what I mean? If one side's like, hey, and the other side's like, whoa, like, oh, you were serious. All right. I thought we were just talking trash on the internet. I didn't know you meant it. All right. Anyway, it's good to be here. I like this mix. This is good. I haven't been to Oklahoma City since 2021. Is anyone here at that show? Yeah, all right. One guy. All right. That's what I like. Return business. That's what I like. One guy was like, yeah, I'm coming back for that. Everyone's like, we've seen it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If I had known, I wouldn't have asked the question. But here we are, man. I like it out here. I like it. You just come in, it's nice and flat. It's good. It's like, I love it. This whole area is just like a well-made bed for a tornado. Just nice and, like, I get why it works here, you know? You're like, oh yeah, I can just go anywhere right there. It's not impeded by mountains or too many big things. I can just rip right through whatever it wants. Yeah, it's hard to laugh at because you guys live here. I get it. As soon as I said it, I'm like, what am I doing right now? This is what these people live with. And I'm like, right? Wicked tornadoes? And you're like, yeah. Ha 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 ha. What the hell's wrong with this guy? Yeah, I'm glad I'm here. We flew in today. I came in from New York. It was weird. Normally it's a direct flight, but there's no direct JFK to Oklahoma City. I had to connect. So that's always fun. I looked it up. Nobody. Not Spirit. Nobody. That means no one's doing direct business between Oklahoma City and you're like, what? Yeah, I mean, we can get you there. What time you gotta be there by? Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. You like Atlanta? You're gonna stop in Atlanta. And so you're gonna stop for a little bit. It's good. Yeah, we had, I don't know, man, people are annoying. This is the time of year where people are extra annoying. This is when people fly that don't fly, and they just kind of stand there, you know? They get off a plane, and they'll just be like, where's my next gate at? And they'll just stop in the middle of the jetway. There's a whole line of people behind them going, excuse me, can you die? Can you move to the side and die? That would be great. I have to see where my next gate is. I'm like, you're never gonna make it at this pace. I'm gonna let you know that right now. We had a lingerer. We were waiting for the next flight to board, this one, and there was a dude, he had the worst breath. Have you ever had someone interrupt your conversation that they weren't in with just their breath? I've never had that happen before. My wife and I were talking, and then and I looked at her and I knew it wasn't her. You ever smell some breath and you're like, I know my wife, that is not her. And it was that middle-aged man breath. You know that breath where you're like, oh, that's from deep inside. That's some long-seated regret and whiskey and an undigested piece of filet mignon that kind of came up. And he wasn't even talking. He was just one of these guys. And he wafted into our faces, and I'm like, ah! And we both stared at him, but he's one of those guys just completely out to lunch, just like, uh-huh. And then we shimmied over, and he followed. And I'm like, what is wrong with humanity?
We're driving to Tulsa from Oklahoma City. Last night's show. It went well. It went great. Tried out a bunch of new jokes. They worked. They didn't work. You know, it's trying out new jokes. But now I'm in this high-end Hyundai Palisade, which I think is a neighborhood where the Kardashians live. This car has a feature, and they really should tell you about these features when you rent the car. Once we got on this highway and we started going straight, the seat just hugged my sides. Like, came up around me like a creepy boss in an 80s movie coming up behind the secretary to give a nice little shoulder massage. That's what this just did. It just went, and it just made me go, oh, I need a raise. That's what it made me feel. It's Emma's day to decide what we're doing. She picked Hobby Lobby.
I've never been.
This is where you wanted to hang out. Let's get this over with.
Stop pretending like you don't want to go to Hobby Lobby.
I will be on my phone a lot. I honestly don't know which one to pick.
Look who came around to Hobby Lobby.
I didn't know they had this thing. Look at this. Human anatomy. It all comes apart in case you want your kid to grow up to be a doctor or a serial killer. You remember Stretch Armstrong? This is the new version. You can pull them 4 times. 4 times the stretch.
I love how I'm done.
I'm not done.
You're still looking.
I don't want to be rushed.
We're still here.
I said I'm a big fan of the Hoblob.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Hobby Lobby for short. This is the Airbnb section. This is what you put up at your Airbnb if there's a pond in the backyard. Just make it look all beachy. We just ate at the Dilly Diner. Delicious. More salt than you could ever hope for. It's one of the best cups of coffee I've ever had. I drink it black, and it's just dark and roasty and chocolatey. But it's so good to be here. I've been to Tulsa before. It's nice to be back. I like what you've done with the place. I'm a big fan. I like performing here. This feels like it used to be a furniture store. Like you can almost see someone trying out a Tempur-Pedic, you know. The salesman's like, we'll give you a 100-year warranty on this here mattress. And you're like, how long do you think I'm going to live? You know? Seems a little extra. No one's passing out at a deathbed. You know? Thank you, 3 people. Everyone else, I'm like, well, why does that matter? Tempur-Pedic's a Tempur-Pedic. Last time I checked. Had a good time. My wife and I checked out Tulsa. We went down to the downtown area. They have different names, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, there's like the big building part, and then there's the other part where there used to be real industry, but now you sell coffee over there. You know what I'm talking about, that area where you're like, oh yeah, that's when we used to do stuff and make stuff, and now there's someone making a latte, you know? We went down over there, we went and ate at Dilly's.
Yeah. Does anyone know that? Okay. I thought that was it. There's just one guy who's like, yeah, that's the place. Everyone else is like, huh, you ate there? Good luck. All right. I got a real judgy stare from this section over here. Like, he's not finishing this set. He's gonna be running for those double doors here in about 20 minutes. We had a good time. Good food, good coffee. That good, like, jacked up coffee where you're like, I can take over the world. You know? And then we thought about going to the mall, and there was a line, the traffic heading into the mall. We made a last second diverge into a Hobby Lobby. That's where we went. Yeah. It was my wife's idea. She's like, Hobby Lobby? And I'm like, what? And she's like, I've never been to one. And I'm like, it's just a bigger Michael's. And you're shaking your head, and you're right. You are correct. Because I went in there, and I was like, I was so wrong. I've never wanted to own a home more than as soon as I walked into a Hobby Lobby. I'm like, I want one of everything. We need a 10-bedroom house with a basement. I need a Nintendo controller doormat. I need 8 paintings of a cow with a hat on it. There were so many paintings of a cow with a hat. And I'm like, that means a lot of people are buying them. That meant they released one painting with a cow with a hat, and the general manager's like, you got any more? Because we're sold out. Might want to do different variations. Maybe some with a fedora. Maybe some with a sun hat. Let's have some variation, because people are getting grabby here in Tulsa for the cows wearing the hats. God, I loved Hobby Lobby. That was so good. Man, they have a giant toy section. I'm 36, but I gravitate to the toy aisle. That part of me has not grown up at all. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, we should have a kid just so this isn't as creepy. That's the only reason I want to have a kid, just so I'm not looking at the toys like, oh, boxing out kids. Like, hey, this isn't... I'm trying to get a look at the merchandise. I loved it. I actually bought a thing. I bought a model car. One of those, like, you put them together with the glue and then you paint them. I remember I had one, like, in the 2nd grade, and my mom got it for me, and then I cried, and she built it. And I remember that's how it went. I opened it, and she's like, how's it going? And just tears welled up in my eyes. I was like, what's a crankshaft? And she ended up building it. It wasn't better. Bless her sweet little heart. She tried. That's not where the steering wheel goes. But I got this. There's like there's like levels. It's like level 1 to 5. I don't know if you've ever done this. And I thought it was like a medium 3 or something. I looked, it's a level 5. All right, it says 13 and up. But no, that's like for like, if you're 13 and you happen to be young Sheldon or something. That's what they mean. Not just I'm 36 and I opened the box and I'm like, they didn't give us nothing. They didn't paint. All the pieces look the same. I was just like, oh no. So I started looking up YouTube videos of other dorks that do this. And these people have tools. They have X-Acto knives. They have one of those lenses with the magnifying, with the light. And they're like shaving this one guy was like, oh, the body's a little warped. So he brought out a hairdryer and melted it a little to form it to the proper, and then he had a file and he had different types of sandpaper. Oh, you want to hit this with the 700 grit. Oh, here, you don't want to scuff that too much. I got 3000 grit right there for the wheel well. You don't want to mess up the wheel well. And I'm just watching this YouTube video in my hotel room with an open box, plastic everywhere. And my wife's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I think I'm going to light it on fire. I don't think I'm going to do any of this. I'm about to call my mother crying on FaceTime. Going, you need to get to Tulsa. I don't know how to put together this 71 Oldsmobile. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. You ever do that where you think you want to be some way, but you know, that's not me at all. That's not me at all. 36, I should know who I am at this point. Just be good with it. Just be good with it, man. Had a good Christmas. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. We had a good one, my wife and I. We didn't do anything. We didn't visit family. We visited family before Christmas, so we could have Christmas just me and her. We had moved to New York this year, and we just had a New York Christmas, just me and her. We got us like little Amazon gifts the night before. We wrapped them and gave them to each other Christmas morning. My wife got me a robe. That's what she got me, which I've never owned a robe before, and I love it. That was a big mistake she made, was getting me a robe. I'm like, you're never gonna not see me in a robe now. If it was acceptable, I would do comedy in a robe. Just come out like Hugh Hefner, just, and I'm in a robe. But it's, I loved it. I loved the way it felt. It's comfortable, but then I got a glance at myself in the mirror, and I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be wearing a robe. I think robes are for women. I think that's who robes are for. They look good on women. Women look good in robes. They look relaxed. They look like they just came from the spa. Maybe got a facial, or maybe they just got out of a bubble bath after they had a glass of wine. They look very luxurious, relaxed. A man in a robe just looks like he got done with some illegal sex. That's what it looks like. It's a little sleazy, right? Like, you look at a man in a robe, you can almost hear the siren in the distance. It's just a very upset Amish family off to the side. It's like, I'll be leaving soon. I like how people awe at that part. I didn't say what happened. That was your own imagination. You made up your own story at the end of that. Yeah, I think robes are for women, man. Like when my wife wears a robe, it's classy but sexy too. You're like, ooh, maybe something will slip out, you know? I was wearing a robe, my wife was like, oh, you're still supposed to wear underwear with it. Like, what are you? And I was like, that doesn't feel right. It's like wearing a hat on a hat. Why would I wear underwear with a robe? We had a good Christmas. It was a very good Christmas. Got a good robe. Yeah, we went out. We got lost in New York. That's what we did. We hopped on the subway, took it to Central Park, and with all the other tourists, you just went down. You're like, yeah, you were right. We made all the wrong decisions. We should have been at Hobby Lobby. That's where we should have been. Should have gone to Hobby Lobby, taken advantage of the sales. But instead we went to Central Park, and we had fun. You know, it was a little too much. It was too many people. So we brought a little joint with us, took a little hit, you know, like we're like teenagers in a high school parking lot getting ready for algebra. Just a little something so the equations make sense, you know? And so we took a little toke at the park, and now we're high at the park, which is fun. I like being high at a park. That's where you should be high. You shouldn't be high somewhere else, like the Hobby Lobby, all right? They will kick you out. They're gonna call the police. They're like, this guy's been staring at that cow for so long. He's looking at it like it's a mirror, and it isn't. But yeah, I realized very quickly New York is not the city where marijuana goes with. That's not, you want all your senses in that city. You want to be up to speed with what's coming. Because we moved there in April, and I've been waiting for the moment where like a homeless guy comes up and starts something, and then I get to use my boxing, you know? Like, I fantasized about this. I've been taking a boxing class for 6 years. I've never fought anybody, but you know, I hit the bag and the hand pillows, and if you've ever done that for like an hour, you're like, I think I might be a weapon of mass destruction. I'm pretty sure if anyone messes with me, they're gonna die. I don't think it's gonna go good for them. And so I've been fantasizing about this. I'm like, someone's gonna come up to my wife and go, blah, 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 and yell, and I'll be like, hey, hey, hey. And then I show up, give him a 1-2, give him maybe pivot, hit him with a hook. My wife's off to the side, oh my God. Can I wink at her while I'm in the middle of pugilism? Just give her a little... You want a couple shots? No? He's here. And then afterwards we go back and make passionate sweet love at home. That was my fantasy the entire time. And it finally happened. We were at Central Park, and a wild homeless man came up and yelled at my wife, but I was high. I wasn't ready. So he showed up and he's like, get out of my face! And he like spit and it landed on my wife, and I was like, whoa! That was my moment. And my wife, we did not make love that night, all right? We had a long conversation about protection and how I need to be there for her. And I was like, baby, I didn't know, like, it was just, that's not the state of mind you need to be in for aggression. You know, like, it all happened so fast and slow at the same time. He was fast and I was very slow. And it's just not how I wanted it to start. It's good. And you guys are here for New Year's, which is wonderful. And for the 7:30 show. Well, you know, what a way to let us all know. You'll be in bed by 10. I love it. We'll be in bed by 10 o'clock with fuzzy slippers on. Watching the East Coast countdown. Try to kiss your significant other quickly before they fall asleep. And trust me, I wish I could join you. I wish. I have a show after this, and I'm not looking forward to it, all right? You know why? Because you guys get it. A good set, the people that show up to a 7:30 New Year's Eve show, you guys get it. You know what New Year's is, all right? You know what it is. You don't want to start tomorrow with a hangover. You don't want to start a New Year. You know what New Year's is, all right? You've done enough of them. You get it. You get it. It's a new year. It's Sunday. All right? It's a Sunday. Let's act accordingly. This is the show I'm looking forward to. The 10:30 show? Those are people that have high expectations for their New Year's Eve. They're trying to make up for a horrible 2023 where everything went wrong. And they're like, but it's New Year's Eve! And I'm gonna drink all the drinks, and tomorrow it's a new me. And I gotta entertain broken people, all right? Those are broken people I'm gonna have to make giggle, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it off. Because I'm gonna be wishing I was in my hotel across the street, just laying with my wife, just dum-dum, like that's what I wanna go do. But we're doing it, all right! New Year's Eve in a strip mall. We're doing it. This is how it's meant to be done. Not at a 4-star hotel with a live band. No, we want to be across the parking lot from a Chipotle. A closed Chipotle. You guys will never forget the year you rung in 2024 in an over-air-conditioned den. All right, this is getting you ready for the climate change that is coming. It might be too cold next year. You gotta get ready for it. Might be too hot next year. Gotta get ready for it. Get ready for it all. All right, thank you guys so much for coming out. I didn't know that's how I was gonna start. But I just started saying stuff. One more time for all the comics you've seen, and I make it loud for them. We're here. I like it. I was curious to know who was gonna come out, because I'm like the early show was packed with people that I could tell would be in bed by 10, and which I've been in Tulsa for the last couple of days. It looked like most of the township, if I'm being honest. Most of the town would look like they were going to bed by 10. Even just today, trying to go do some regular business. Most places were closed. And I was like, oh, maybe that's for, because it's New Year's. No, that's just every Sunday. Every Sunday is, you guys run Chick-fil-A hours around here. And so I was curious to know who's going to come out. And I like the group that we have. This is a ragtag group. Like this feels like a meeting. I like this. This feels like a city council meeting, and we're gonna bring in the new year. I like that we're the only thing open in the strip mall. I like that. This is the only thing happening. Some cars are gonna drive by and like, whoa, there's a lot of cars parked. Something going on at the Cava? What's going on? People still getting Mediterranean bowls? What do we got? We got 7 minutes to showtime. When do we pull down the thing?
1 more minute.
In what?
5 minutes till.
5 minutes still, so 3 more minutes we're gonna do this. You can tell we rehearsed this to a T this morning. We were here going 5, 6, 7, 8. Listen, I don't want you to think we're running a ragtag situation. We're gonna pull up the finest YouTube live stream of the countdown. We are gonna project it on that screen, and boy, when I tell you, after that happens, I guess we go home. I don't, just split it with me, and we'll do it traditional, Oh, there's the big screen. I told you it was coming down. I didn't want it to frighten you. Make sure it's. Can you put Dick Clark? Is Dick Clark still alive? God rest his soul. Carson Daly, perhaps. Who's the new Dick Clark? Ryan Seacrest? I'll take that one. Yeah, good old Ryan Seacrest. If someone would have said he was dead, I would have left the stage. I'd be like, not Ryan. He's the picture of help. But what we are going to do is I'm going to bring up all the comedians and my lovely wife to help bring in the new year. Please clap it up. Come on up, everybody. Oh, my wife Emma's coming in first. Come on up, sweetheart. We got Travis, and Cameron, and Landry left. He was the orange fella that thought you guys didn't like him. But don't worry, we gave him a pep talk. He's doing all right. He's flattening your guys' tires in the parking lot. This is good. We didn't plan this out. I got 4 minutes to kill with all you guys standing up here. God damn, we didn't plan this out at all. All right, well. Did you already do the Shawn Michaels thing? I did that, yeah. Dude, I rushed through that so fast because I knew they were dropping this. I was looking at my phone going, I gotta get through this story before they drop the thing. There it is. Who's that? Oh, we got an ad? Of course. Listen, we spared no expense to bring you guys the countdown. Once we're done getting through these Blue Chew commercials, we will show you. Thank you. That was for 3 people that listen to podcasts. Then we will get to the countdown. It's Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande. All right, this is good. 10. 9. I'm sorry. It's too soon. I also want to bring up, I've had a lovely weekend working with these two, but it also looks like these two would have bullied me in high school for very different reasons. Doesn't it? Like Travis, of course, just bullying me for being short, and then Cameron just for owning a Will Smith CD or something. Are you a big Will Smith fan?
I'm not allowed to get jiggy with it on my little.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. You look like you have an eclectic music taste. What is happening? What is this? Oh, I'm so glad I'm filming this. This is going on YouTube. Oh, this is... When I started, I told you we will not see 2025. And this is the best way to bring in the last year that there's ever been. Oh my God. Please don't accidentally open your history. That would really change the show. Oh, bless his heart. Here we are. You want to right-click on that? No. Can one of the wait staff help the fella out? Here we are. There, maybe that one. No, wait, is that live? We don't know. Oh, no. Don't worry, I got a seconds on my Apple Watch. We'll get to it.
Elon Musk be doing in 2024?
In 2023, the only thing we could agree on is Taylor Swift. You know what we're going to be able to agree on in 2024? Taylor Swift again.
Counting down to the year.
Hey, all right, I know that guy.
Right before New Year's, rocking in.
It's kind of embarrassing to have way more famous people over my shoulder. And you're like, oh yeah, we could have done that.
We are nearly there, ladies and gentlemen. Have you had a good night here at the Sydney Opera House?
It's the Australian
good night
countdown.
At home,
all right,
ladies and gentlemen. What an amazing show we've had. A big thank you to you for being here tonight. To everyone watching at home, the ABC viewers are the best in the world.
This isn't even the American countdown.
I'm just going through the checklist in my head, Charlie. What have we got? A whole bunch of fireworks. Check. A global audience watching. Check.
Who are these
A TV
Aussies?
audience with the best seat in the house.
Yep.
Check.
Thank you to all the bands who performed tonight. King Stingray, Casey Donovan, Brett Perez, Angie McMahon, Mark and Eva Seymour, Genesis Owusu, Confidence Man, Harry Connick Jr., and Jess Malboy.
This couldn't have gone better.
Remarkable backing band. On drums, Brendan Tan. On bass, Adam Ventura. Our guitarist, Kat Ayala.
It's New Year now. We didn't even do a countdown. Happy New Year, everybody.
Jasmine
I'm
Barrett,
so sorry.
Ashley Goodman, and
Happy
Hannah
New Year.
Our brass team as well, they were amazing. And of course, our backing singers who were just phenomenal on stage.
I just looked behind the counter.
no one working the booth.
I love it. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? It's almost time.
No one back there. That guy left.
7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Woo! Good old Australia. Yeah. USA. 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 That couldn't have been scripted funnier than how it came out.
Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm going to be on tour all year, 2024. Might be the last one. So, go to zoltancomedy.com, look at the tour schedule. If you don't see your town, sign up for my mailing list. I promise I'm going to try to come, and I'll see you out there on the road. It's a Wednesday night. How's it going? We're at the mall on a Wednesday. How are you? That was very polite. Some people wooing, some people clapping. This lady just politely waving. Hello. Hi, how are you? Yes, I have the most kind audience members at all of my shows. They're like, woo, yeah. Hi, there you are. So good. Thank you guys so much for coming out. One more time for all the comics you've seen tonight. Make it loud for them. Yeah. So good to be here. I love performing at this mall. This is the nicest mall to perform at. Trust me, I perform at malls all over the country, and most of them look closed. And not this one. This one looks like malls used to look. It's like we stepped back into 1985, and we're like, whoa! Feels good. Feels energized, Because then there's the rest of Irvine, which is just corporate offices for businesses you used to go to. It's so weird. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I remember BlackBerry. Oh, that's where they do their taxes. All right. And you're like, oh my God, a Taco Bell? Corporate? All right. That means there's like an office somewhere with just documents of how many chalupas they sold. 2023. Some guy over there going, I gotta keep up with these chalupa sales. An accountant on Tex-Mex. That's what I like Irvine. I like what you guys got going on. Everything's curated. Everything. Your HOA is on point. No one's going wild with the painting of their houses. Everything's. You got it down to about 3 swatches. No one's hanging up basketball hoops. There's none of that here. You guys got a stiff HOA board out here. Manicured lawns. No one has a relative in an RV. None of that going on over here. I like that. You guys are running a tight ship. I appreciate that. Running a tight ship. Day before Thanksgiving, trying to have some fun, right? Before you gotta sit down with the family. Yeah? I love Thanksgiving. It's the best one. It's a holiday. It's all about the food. No gifts. No gifts. You don't have to pretend to say thank you. You don't have to go, oh, how'd you guess? None of that. You can just be like, more. Please feed me more. None of that. All you have to do is shut up. That's all you have to do. Just smile. It's the best holiday. God, I love it. It's good to be here. I flew in from New York today. I flew in, into San Diego. Should have flown closer. Flew to San Diego, got a rental car, and I'm like, what have we done? I think I forgot how long that drive is. From San Diego to here is somewhere between an hour to 6 hours, depending on where everyone is headed on that certain holiday. Man, that drive north, everyone's headed south. Like remember that movie The Day After Tomorrow where the world's ending? And everyone's just heading south like, oh, it's freezing up here. And I'm like, I think we're going the wrong direction. The end of the world is coming from that away. We're hitting it head on. Yeah, flying at this time of year. It's the time of year where everyone that doesn't fly flies. And it's so noticeable out there. You're like, what?
Last week I got doused with a bottle of Dr. Pepper from a lady who was putting her bag on I had the aisle seat, and she was putting a bag on the overhead, and it's 5 in the morning. I'm like, why is it raining right now? And I look up and there's a liter, but just and I was like, I think you got a leak there. And she's like, oh no, my Dr. Pepper. You know? Man, drinking Dr. Pepper on a 5 a.m. flight too. Like, I just looked at her, I'm like, man, I hope you didn't forget to lock your storage unit before you left this morning. You're drinking Dr. Pepper at 5 in the morning, you live in a storage unit. You have a YouTube channel about living in that storage unit. I like the chuckles in Irvine, because you guys have too much money to laugh too hard at that. You gotta laugh in between. Well, you know. It's that in-between chuckle. Doused me with Dr. Pepper. And then today, everyone on my flight was extremely elderly. There's nothing wrong with that. That's nice. That shows love. They're in their later years, and people aren't coming to visit them. They're like, ship him in. Hey, should we go visit Grandpa? Half his body doesn't work. No, fly him out. We'll bump him up to economy. Like, you know how many old people I watched boarding the flight this morning? I was like, what? And there's one elderly man. I'm not making fun. I am, but I'm not. But it's from a place of love. Really, I'm mad at the family that owns this elderly person. What are you doing, shipping this old man across? Go visit him. He's elderly. He had to use the bathroom like 100 times, and each time he got up, and I'm like, he's not gonna make it. He's not gonna. And each time, you ever watch someone go to the bathroom and then they close the door, and I'm like, yeah, but then what's going on in there? What's gonna happen then? Yeah. It's irresponsible. Go visit your family. Don't ship them out like they're an Amazon package, you know? Go visit Grandpa in New York. He lives in New York. That's where you're gonna spend Christmas. You guys hush. You're like, that was our grandfather. We shipped him out. I had a nice elderly woman behind me on the flight, and she didn't know how the touchscreen wasn't working for her in the headrest, so she just made sure to jab the hell out of that. That was a 5.5-hour flight, and I'm just over there like, it's the holidays. You have to let it go. It's Thanksgiving, you know? The Native Americans and the Pilgrims came together. They were able to set their differences aside. Come on, it's the holiday season. Pumpkin spice lattes. 5.5 hours, reminding myself not to yell.
Hey, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it, shared it, subscribed to it, hit the notification bell, do all the things YouTube makes you want to do. Other than that, I wanted to let you know that I'm constantly on tour, so go to my website, zoltancomedy.com, and see if I'm coming to a town near you. Thank you kindly.
Try a bunch of new things. I don't like trying new things because I usually get hurt. That's the problem. I get hurt or sick. I just have bad luck. I don't know what it is. Like every time I try to be adventurous, the world is like, see? This is why you shouldn't. Like I remember in Mexico, a few years ago, I crashed a scooter in Mexico, and I shouldn't be on a scooter. I shouldn't be on 2 wheels. I need 4 wheels at all times. 4 wheels. All the time. But I made a new friend. You ever make a new friend and they have a suggestion and you don't want to seem lame, so you just go along with it? That's what happened. We were flying home that day and I made a new friend and he's like, hey, you want to rent some scooters? Go around the island? I'm like, hell yeah! Let's go rent some scoots! Let's get out there! And because I thought there would be like a tutorial video or something. Because one time I rented jet skis and they made us watch like a 15-minute VHS on how to work a jet ski, and they had all this safety gear, and I was like, that's what I thought this was going to be, and it wasn't. We just went to a shack, and a little Mexican man threw keys at us, and that was the end of the seminar. That was the whole thing, and it was so bad. Like, there was no safety gear. There was just a helmet that didn't fit. Like, that's all there was. And once we got out there, like, the helmet, like, the wind took it back, and the little rope would, like, choke me out. That was all of the safety. But I didn't even know how to turn this bike on. I was sitting on the bike trying to turn it on, and nothing was happening. My friends were already, like, doing wheelies and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm right behind you, and I'm trying to get it going. It's not going. And the little Mexican man that rented it to me, he comes out and he sees I'm having trouble. And he's like, are you good? And I'm like, no, there's no vroom vroom, you know? Because we were speaking broken English and Spanish back at each other. We're trying to understand, but we can't understand. He's like, and I'm like, no vroom vroom. There's no vroom vroom. He's like, oh, vroom vroom. And I'm like, yeah, man, where's the vroom vroom? And he hit a button I didn't see, and the thing fired up. I'm like, yeah, vroom vroom. He's like, see, vroom vroom. And I'm like, is this the brake? And he just shoved me off into traffic. So there I am, downtown Cozumel, Mexico, rush hour traffic. And I could feel in my heart this was gonna end well, you know? It was like watching a horror movie. You're like, when's it coming? I know it's coming, but when? It happened on a right turn. That's when it happened. I made a right turn, and halfway into it I realized, I don't know how to make a right turn. I don't know, there was no training. Am I supposed to drop a knee like it's a sports bike and I'm on like the Grand Prix of Budapest or something? Like, what do you want me to do? So I just made a turn, and I was like, wow, we're gonna crash into the median. And my calculations were spot on. I nailed that median. And I went flying. The helmet was on the back of my head, like a concrete yarmulke back there, just holding on. And I crashed. I destroyed half the bike. And I'm not wearing protective gear other than this little bike helmet. So I'm just in shorts and a t-shirt. So I'm bleeding from everywhere, all right? My knee, my hand, really bad. Some of the locals had gathered to cuss at me in Spanish, which is good. That's what you need after an accident. Some hecklers. All right. That's very helpful. So I very quickly tried to pick up the bike and get it out of the street because everyone's yelling at me and I'm bleeding. And I picked it up by the handlebars. Remember, that's the vroom vroom area. Which, can I say, what a piss poor design that is. Maybe some pedals next time. Maybe something away from where I got to pick it up from. And I went to go pick it up and my hand hit the throttle and this thing shot out of my hands. And it went down half a block without me on it. And I smashed the other side. I destroyed the scooter, you guys. There's no plastic left on it. The mirrors are gone. I'm bleeding. And I walked it back to the rental shack in shame. And the dude who rented it saw me coming. He saw him all messed up. The bike's destroyed. And he ran out with all the English he knew. He just goes, What happened? And I was so offended that he would even ask that. I'm like, what do you mean what happened? Like, why didn't you have a tutorial video or something? I could have used a couple blocks, you know, whips around the block before you sent me out there. And so he's like assessing the damage, and he's like, I'm like, how much is this gonna be? And he's like, it's gonna be 10,000 pesos. And I'm like, I don't know how much that is. Like, I don't keep up with the world currency markets, you know? That could be $1, that could be $1 million. I have no idea. And he just kept saying 10,000 pesos, 10,000 pesos. So I just pulled out my Visa, and I'm like, well, try that. Give that a try, you know? And he swiped it, and I'm like, did it work? And he's like, see? And I'm like, no shit. All right. Apparently I had at least a 10,000 peso limit on the old Visa. We got out of there. Now, if you remember, I said I was flying home that day, so I had to catch a flight after that. I don't know if anyone here has gone to the airport bleeding. It's not ideal, all right? So we hailed a cab, we jump in the back. The driver looks back, sees me all messed up, and he goes, oh, would you rent a scooter? Which that made me feel a little bit better. I'm like, all right, I'm not alone, right? And I had flown out of this airport before, and in Cozumel at this airport, they have a pharmacy, one of those good Mexican pharmacies where they have all the drugs, which is great. You know what they didn't have? Bandages. It's the only pharmacy I've ever been to in the world that didn't have Band-Aids or Neosporin, anything. And she didn't speak any English. I'm like, do you have bandages? And she just kept pointing at like Viagra and like steroids. And I'm like, that's the last thing I need right now. And I'm pantomiming. I'm like, I'm bleeding. I need Band-Aids. And she just kept pointing at the Viagra. I'm like, no! You kidding? I'm about to be on a plane with strangers. Like, that's what you want to add to this problem?
No one's gonna want to sit next to that guy. Just some dude actively bleeding and super excited about it. Just take a seat. I got some stories, you know? Like, no one wants any of that. So I ended up going to the bathroom and I just wrapped my hand and my leg in toilet paper. So for 5 hours I just sat on an airplane just covered in toilet paper. And that's why I don't do anything. I try to keep things pretty simple.
I like that. So good to be here. This is my first time at the lounge at the end of the universe. And yeah, we all came in, didn't we? That was an interesting trip down here. The whole thing was interesting. I drove over from the hotel and I'm just following the directions. And then it's like, take a right on this street. And oh, you missed it. And you're like, all right. Oh, you mean that unlit street that looked like it was an entrance into a bank? Was that a street? All right. Don't worry, there's another street. It's called Jane Avenue or something. And it was just an alley. It was an alley that was named after a woman who the mayor divorced. I don't know who got to name Jane Alley. She's not getting a full street. She deserves an alley. And then I had to go down that, and then I ended up in a weird neighborhood. And then I took a right, and there was an abandoned office building. And then Siri's like, you have arrived at the lounge at the end of the universe. And I was like, yeah. That's where that belongs. In the basement of an office building. Only in comedy, you know? I like it, though. I like it. I don't want it to be all prim and proper. It adds to the excitement, right? Like, any minute, you feel like the real owners of this building are gonna bust through that door and go, what the hell is going on in here? You see one of the employees grab the register and haul ass out of here. And then we're like, we bought tickets. I don't know. Just point at me, we're here to see him. I thought, you know. Yeah, is that how it's done in Idaho? Everyone's just kind of run by the seat of your pants. I like it. I like I've been coming to Boise since 2012, maybe. So for a long time, but I haven't been here since 2018. And every time it just keeps growing and growing. Like there's so much. I drove to the downtown part, and there's a giant fun center. I don't know what that is. There's a bunch of stuff. You got a Whole Foods down there. Everything looks good. This neighborhood, not so much. But the other, over there? Oh, that is booming. Over here, we can all afford a house. But over there, those condos are high dollar. Someone came up to me last night like, this neighborhood is still burgeoning, is the word he used. And I was like, yeah, you can call it what you want, but we get it. I like that, you know? You gotta have a mix of everything. I had a good day. I went to Big City Coffee, got a big breakfast sandwich. That's my favorite place to go. And got a coffee. You like that Big City Coffee? Yeah, I'm a fan. I don't know who's talking to me, but somebody. All right, wait, I was way off. I'm like, you? No. You? No. Way back there. All right, there you go. Me and that guy. We're at Big City Coffee. Everyone else is a Starbucks sellout in here. You just nodded. Yeah, we are. I got the app. I don't know. I get points. Don't get me wrong. I like a good Starbucks. I like it. Those little egg things that they pop in the microwave and you just chow those down. I am into that. The shaken oat espresso latte. I just like saying that out loud. I'll have the shaken oat. Their drink names are so long, you ever give up halfway through? Because you're like, you get it. You're like, what else could it turn into? You know? It's not like I'm going to say, can I get the brown sugar, shaken oat, espresso, oatmeal? Could I get that? You're like, no, you meant what you meant.
I like it. I didn't do much. Got a coffee today, worked out at the gym, and just paid attention to the news. That's what I do. I try to pay attention to the news. Someone made a noise. They went, ugh, don't pay attention to the news. That's what I try to do, because I'm trying to know, when is the end of the world? Is it today? You never know. I think World War III right around the corner, and I just want to know when to get ready. You know, I don't even know what I would do to get ready. I guess, like if I got an alert on my phone today, World War III has started, I'd be like, well, I guess we're staying in the hotel. They're not going to hit the Spring Hill Inn and Suites, you know? But you say get some Uber Eats? Is that what you said? Yeah, let's risk that guy's life some more. That poor guy not getting enough of this money. Yeah, why don't you bring me a sandwich? We're hunkering down for the World War. It's already kind of kicked off. I don't know if you guys know, but we're at war with the Houthis. I don't know if you keep track. There's a group called the Houthis, and we're fighting them. Let me tell you what. And I got to tell you, that's the most adorable sounding enemy that we've ever had. I've said the name 3 times, and each time I smile a little at the end. It's impossible to say, the Houthis. I feel so bad for them, because I'm sure they, like, in their language, that means something badass, but, you know, like, our soldiers have to go fight those guys. Like, there's some colonel trying to pump up the troops. All right, fellas, get out there and get those Houthis. You know? No, this is serious, you guys. Get out there. There's no laughing matter. Get those Houthis. And I don't know if you guys know why we're fighting them, but I looked into it. Apparently there's cargo ships coming from China, and they go through the Red Sea and to eventually come to the United States. And these Houthis are, they're shooting at the cargo ships. So our military is over there shooting back at them because they're getting bullet holes in our Amazon packages. That's essentially what that war is. It's pretty much what it is. Our military is fighting the international porch pirates that are the Houthis. And it just shows you how big the world really is, right? Like, we're all the way over here, just like, where the hell are my sweatpants? You know? And thousands and thousands of miles away, it's just, you know? And we're over here like, Amazon Prime my ass, dude. Where are my sweatpants? We're very lucky, you know? So yeah. I try to keep up with all the news. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to keep up with it because I don't know who to believe. I don't know what to do. So I just go work out. I just try to keep to myself. I'm like, oh, the world's ending. I guess I'll go to the gym. Just try to get abs. I don't know. So I'm being bullied by that actor, that Jeremy Allen White. You know that guy? He's in that show, The Bear. And he's in the new movie, The Iron Claw, which is a pro wrestling movie. And he's also in a new ad for Calvin Klein. And they won't stop showing me that guy's nuts. And I get what women feel when they're like being sent unsolicited dick pics. That's what Jeremy Allen White is doing to me. Everywhere I go, there he is. I'm like, leave me alone, you know? I've changed my number. This guy's just there. I was reading something I was scrolling an article trying to learn about the Houthis. And I'm scrolling through, and then he's just over there eating an apple. And I'm like, get out of my life, man. God, I hate him. I hate him because he's like, this is why I hate in-shape celebrities, because they always do like a shirtless photo where they're sitting down. And I'm like, that's how you know you're in great shape, when you'll take your shirt off and sit down, you know? Like, I'll take my shirt off, but we're standing up the entire time. My body's all right if we're vertical. Vertical, everything's all right. I sit down, it starts looking like a layered truffle cake in here. You can start like, oh, that's the tit layer, all right. That's the rib fat layer, there's the belly layer. And I'm just trying to read the news, and there he is, just hunched over, no fat on him, eating an apple, with his bulge staring at me. And I'm like, get out of here. You know for a fact he can't swallow that apple.
You know, his trainer's off to the side going, don't swallow the apple! You can't handle the sugar content! Get out of my life, man. It's so hard. I just want to be in good shape just so I can fit in the seats on the flights, you know? Because that's what I do for a living. I want to fit in. Because honestly, I don't fit in anywhere. Like, there's too much, like, the in-shape community for men. I don't know what's happened to masculinity the last few years, but we've gone way, you know how everyone's like far right, far left? We've done that with men. Like, masculinity's far, everyone's like, yeah, I'm an alpha, dude. Do you have any idea how many alphas are out there? Every dude that's ever seen a kettlebell, I'm an alpha. It's like, do you know anything about wolves? There's only one alpha. And it's Joe Rogan. It's not you. He's your alpha. And you say what he says. Oh, the other day I was thinking, were you? Or are you just listening and repeating? I'm an alpha. No, Joe Rogan's your alpha. He feeds you supplements like a baby bird. He gives you things to say, and like a baby, like, more Joe Rogan. Nom, 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 nom. And you walk around, I'm the alpha there. It's ridiculous. And I want to work out, but I don't want to be in that group. You know? And the other side is just like a bunch of dudes that live like Dungeons and Dragons or something. And you're like, is there something in the middle, you know? Is there something between board games and steroids, you know? It's just like a regular person. I just want that. That's all I want. I got pretty animated over there. That's how I feel. I don't know. It's been a good mix. I've been very lucky. I'm very happy you guys are coming out. People coming out to see me, that's still new to me. You know, no, it is. Like the last few years, people have been coming out. Like this weekend, we sold out 3 of the 4 shows, and that's more than I could ever ask for. Thank you, you guys. But I don't want you to think that I've been doing comedy. This is my 18th year in comedy, and it's only been the last couple of years that it's been like this. So for most of the time, it's been a lot of like, oh, all right. Like I remember the first time I headlined a comedy club. I was so pumped. It was in Colorado Springs, and they picked me up at the hotel, and they had to buy a bunch of pizzas to give away for free. And they didn't tell me anything. This guy just picked me up, and he's like, we got to go pick up some pizzas. And I was like, all right. And he goes in, I'm sitting in the car, he comes out with the biggest stack of pizzas I've ever seen, and he just lays them right on my lap. And it's high, too. I can't even see out the window. It's just pizzas up to there. And they're hot. They're burning my thighs. These are some fresh pies. And I look over at him. I go, what's up with all the pizzas? And he's like, ticket sales are light. So I made a Facebook post that said free pizza for anyone who comes to the show. And I'm like, oh. How much were the tickets? And he goes, $2. And I don't even know why I asked that. Like, it should have been painful enough that we're giving away pizzas. But that's how much of a masochist I am. I'm like, I need to be hurt more. How much are the tickets? You know what the saddest part was? Not that many more people showed up. Wait, like 17 people showed up for the first show, and I took all my slices back to the hotel. All my failure slices went back to the hotel, and I just took all pieces. Yeah. But no, so things are better now, and it's exciting. Like people come up to me, like they know my jokes and they watch my stuff, and I'm like, whoa. And sometimes people say serious stuff too. Most times people just go, I like a comedy. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And every once in a while, some people will get serious, like, man, your comedy has helped me through a really hard time. And I'm like, all right. I never know what to say to that, you know, because they're being very heartfelt, but I just want to go, I'm glad, you know. And then, like, it's so hard to respond because, like, I know I have my ugly sides too. Like everyone, you know, you see what you see on stage, but I'm a human being. I have a selfish side. I have a narcissistic side. Just like most people. Like this is a narcissistic activity. What I'm doing right now. This is like you guys like this is like a house party, and you guys are trying to get to the dip, and I'm just in the way. And I'm like, yeah, 1 second, but I got a couple things I want to say. And you're just like, where is the dip? Like, you know. That's what comedy is. This is an arrogant, narcissistic thing to want people to listen to you, but they don't get to talk. Only me. You know? Just me. Just the only one. And I have that narcissistic side. Like one time, I had an audience member come up to me, and they said this, like, I was battling depression, and I was close to ending it all. And I watched your comedy, and I ended up not doing it. And I was like, what the hell do you say to that? It's humbling. I was like, I'm so glad you're here. That's what I ended up saying. I'm so glad you're here. That's all I could come up with. But there is this narcissistic side of me that wanted to ask, like, which joke? Like, which joke specifically where you're like, I'm going to see what tomorrow's got going on. And that's not a good thing, but, I'm trying to be honest with myself. So, yeah.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching my video. Is this too close? We're keeping it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm going to be on tour all year, 2024. Might be the last one. So, go to zoltancomedy.com, look at the tour schedule. If you don't see your town, sign up for my mailing list. I promise I'm going to try to come, and I'll see you out there on the road. Thank you.
You're on stage at the last show and you're like, see your Trump got shot in the ear? And the world is so weird that is actually a news story that didn't surprise me. If you saw the video, that was insane. It looks like an 80s action movie. He got up, there's blood, and he goes, "Ah!" I was waiting for end credits to come up. Missing in Action 8 was the end of that. Oh my god. He just made him into an 80s action hero. And he's going to play it up. The next time he's at the debate. Couldn't hold me down. That is wild, dude. That is crazy. I was trying to remember the last time there was an assassination. Wasn't that Reagan in the 80s? Was that the last one? I wonder if a comedian had to go on stage that day. I was trying to think of the people that have done this job in the past. Like who? Like Yakov Smirnoff or someone had to go on stage. What a country! It's crazy.
Washington, D.C. Cue the patriotic music. Now, do you have something more whimsical? That's good. I like that one. Washington, D.C., home of the White House and the Capitol. Spelled T-O-L at the end, not T-A-L. Just next time you text that, you don't want to look dumb. Also home to the Washington Monument pointy thing, and the Pentagon, and that weird jail cell looking thing that they put Lincoln in. And that big dumb pond that Forrest Gump gives a speech in front of. All the good stuff is in Washington, D.C. And so was I. Also, I want to note that this drone footage you're looking at, I didn't shoot this. This is just free on the internet. It could be AI. I'm not sure. I'm recording this before it's even created. My manager Mark is editing this together, and he's trying to keep up with all the dumb things I'm saying. Anyway, just cut to some more stand-up.
Oh, thank you guys so much for coming out. This is I've been coming to this club for a few years, and I love it. I hope it never changes. I like it. It just feels rustic, you know? It feels like comedy was shoehorned into a place where someone was like, comedy will never work here. This room isn't built for it. You're like, you'll see. And even when they finished building, the owner was like, I told you. Like, I told you. It's weird. It's a weird setup, but I like it. This is like olden times, you know? Like I just came in from out of town and like, the revolution starts tomorrow. And you're like, I went to a meeting under a hotel. And this is how we knew when to show up and what to bring. I like that kind of feel to it, because some of the comedy clubs, they all look the same. It just feels like I'm performing at a Cheesecake Factory. But not this one. This one, I like the feeling where you're like, my check might not clear. You know, like that. But it always does. It always does. Every time I come here, it does, but every time they hand it to me, man, I'm like, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked if I don't have a call with Bank of America on Monday. And I never do. Because they run a good business here. But I love the feel of it. This is how it should be. Real brick walls. That's not a fake one that they put up in the lobby of a hotel. Oh, we need brick. That's where comedy happens, in front of a brick. This is real brick from back in the day. Back in the olden times. I like it. This is why I like the East Coast. There's history here. I grew up in the West Coast. Nothing happened there. Nothing happened in the West. I grew up in San Diego. I think that town started in like 2003 or something. There's no historical tours in San Diego. It's just some guy like, oh, you see that Jamba Juice? Yeah, that used to be a Blockbuster. So, take notes, have a photo. But I like it. I like the old brick. I like DC. It's got such a good, it feels so important, you know? So important. There's stuff going on and people running. There's so many people in suits in a hurry. Like, oh, my legislation! Like, they all look like they're in a hurry to something. Doesn't everybody? Oh, they close at 4. Everyone's gonna die if I don't get this folder into the right guy. Everything just feels, oh, it's so cool. I don't know. Like I'm staying at a hotel across from the hotel. I think all the NATO people are staying at. Yeah, NATO's in town. They're on tour. NATO's on tour, man. They shut it down. It's like the Beatles are in town. They had to set up all the equipment, you know? It's blocked. My street is blocked off. Like, I came in on an Uber yesterday, and my Uber couldn't get to my hotel because there's a giant Humvee and unmarked government vehicles, which are extra terrifying. Where it's like, should we put decals on these? They're like, no, let them wonder. Let them wonder what branch we are affiliated with. And so my Uber had to drop me off like 2 blocks away, and he's like, is this good? And I'm like, no. Like, I'm supposed to walk towards a Hummer with just a backpack on, and think that's gonna go well? Like, I'm staying at that hotel, gentlemen. It's just so, I don't know. It's so important, man. Everyone's here, all of them. Zelensky's probably wearing camouflage still. Is he here? Probably. Oh no, because he's not. He's trying to get into it, right? He's here. All right, cool. I like how quiet it got. Like, I like that guy. He's a former comedian and he wears camouflage because his country's at war, which I think is cool. But he's not, you know. But he's in it. But he's not, you know. He's in it, but he's not in it. It's like weird to put on camo and then sit down at a laptop. Put on my fresh Under Armour for the war. It's kind of like when you get your house renovated and you all the construction workers are running around and you're like, I should put on my Wranglers for today. And you just walk around and you're like, yeah, that's where the kitchen goes. I don't know. Don't get uptight. I'm sure he would find that funny. He's a former comedian. He's like, I do wear camouflage. That is true. It's just a good feel. I like it. I like the important feeling of this town. Even though, you know, it's weird. Like I was working in Canada, in Vancouver, the day after the last debate. And yeah, that's a fun time to visit a new country, you know? I went up there, and I don't know if you guys feel the way I do, but I don't think other countries should be allowed to watch our debates. I think that's private, okay? That's like our home movies. That's for us. You don't even get to vote, all right? That's for us. That's like a rival coach looking at game film that they illegally, you know, like Belichick would do that. I don't think they should be allowed. You know how like Canada has their own Netflix and they don't get to watch all the shows we watch? You don't get to watch the debates like we do. No. It was interesting, that's for sure. And there's a lot of good put-downs, you know, like Biden called Trump. He's like, you have the integrity of an alley cat, which was my favorite. That was my favorite put-down of the entire thing, because I could see on his face, he's like, hell yeah.
Like, bless his heart, he thought that was a good one. He's like, he thought he was on the set of Happy Days putting Potsy down or something. Like, you have the integrity of the alley cat. Oh. I'm gonna go see what the Fonz is up to. Malarkey! You know? It was fun. Like, it was weird to watch, because I wasn't fully paying attention. I had taken an edible, and so I was watching it in soft focus. You know, like when you're watching something, but your eyes aren't sharp, but you see it, you get it, but it's a soft focus. And I was looking at the debate with a soft focus, and I'm like, from the outside, it just looks like the oldest person in the country's punishment is to be the president. Like, that's the rules in America. Like, oh, you have to do it. Huh? I don't wanna. Did Meredith die? What happened? And then the other guy's the next oldest, and he's like, oh no, it's just both of them making their best case to go, not me. Pick that guy. And they're just like, golf. For the love of God, don't pick me. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to think about, you know. I've been thinking about it a lot, Republicans and Democrats. It's pretty much mom and dad, if you think about it. Like, at its base, it's mom and dad. You know, one's really worried about the budget. It's like, oh, who's going to pay for this? And the other one's like, come on, let's do it. You got it, let's do it. Come on. Oh, he'll come around. But then your mom also wants you to be polite. Like, oh no, we don't say that in this household. But your dad's cheap, but like you can cuss around him. You know, he likes a good off-color joke. He'll be like, don't say that around your mother, but that's a good one. But now it's weird, you know. Now it's like mom and dad got a divorce, and now mom's like a non-binary vegan who hates men, and dad joined the Klan. And he thinks the earth is flat. And we're just over there like, I love you both, but... The reunion's gonna be weird. It's fun. It's fun to think about, I guess. I don't know. I love traveling. That's the best part of this gig, because you get to stop. It's like a mini vacation for me. I get to stop worrying about life at home, and I get to be here. And I'm at a weird hotel with bad Wi-Fi. You guys, the hotel prices in this city are outrageous. It's the most expensive all year round, all the time. It's never. I'm always like, what, is there an event? There's like NASCAR in town. Like, what's going on? And it's like, no, it's $1,000 a night. That's what it is. So I've stayed at this hotel many times. Has anyone stayed at this hotel? No, don't. I mean that with all the love in my heart. This club is great. Good Lord, is it weird up there? I used to stay up there. And now I'm staying at another hotel, which is nicer, but still weird. It's an off-brand hotel. It's like a family that bought a building, and they're like, we're going to renovate it. I know a guy. And you see what they did, and you're like, you cut a lot of corners, all right? There's just tile everywhere. Like, it's tile, and they ran it up the wall, which I've never seen before. I don't even think that's up to code. You're like, what happened in this room where they're like, just tile up the floor, just hose it out when they leave? I don't know what these people do in these rooms. Just run a hose in there. Burn the sheets. I don't know what they're doing in here. It's a bizarre setup. I don't know. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Summer's hard. This is the hardest time to travel, because this is when everyone that doesn't travel travels. And I'm a professional. I do it all the time, so I know I have a nice, easy slip-on off shoes. I'm ready to go. You know, I'm ready to party. But like, I sat next to a creepy guy recently on a flight where I was flying to Florida, and this middle-aged dude, before we were taking off, he's on his phone, and he's just on Facebook zooming in on pictures of women's boobs, like different women, and zoomed right to the rack just every time. And he's holding the phone here because of the eyesight. So I can see it without seeing it, you know? I'm just focusing on my own thing, and I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just boom, right to the, boom, right, hell yeah, wow, all right, America. Like, he's just zooming through. And then the plane starts taking off, like it starts to run down the runway, and he quickly puts his phone down and goes. And I was like, I wish I had the confidence to go, is that for the flight or the sinning? What was that for? I love, because we're all hypocrites, but it's fun to see it in real time like that. Usually there's a few hours in between where you can point out, didn't an hour ago you say this, but now you're doing that? But it's so quick. It's fun to see that in real time. Hey there, thank you so much for watching my video. Is this too close? We're keeping it. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Also, I'm gonna be on tour all year, 2024. Might be the last one. So, you know, go to zoltancomedy.com, look at the tour schedule. If you don't see your town, sign up for my mailing list. I promise I'm gonna try to come, and I'll see you out there on the road. Thank you.